Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Semi-Professional Academic Podcast. As always, I am your host with the most hatred for this type of intro line, Jacob Watts. And joining me today is the hilarious, the bad bitch, the fellow Mamma Mia stan, Kaylee Smith.
Hello, everybody. It's a lot of standards I have to keep up with. What if I'm not funny this time?
Literally impossible. Oh my gosh, Kaylee, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the podcast.
I'm honored to be here. I'm very excited.
Nice. I want to give full disclosure, everybody. Kaylee's the best, and I literally had to reschedule this interview twice because of my own inability to plan.
It's fine. I have no social life, so it's okay.
You literally went to Cupcake last night. You fucking liar.
It's fine. Actually, I went to a Mamma Mia themed disco last night. Cupcake was the night before.
Wait, why am I more jealous about the Mamma Mia disco than Cupcake?
It was just okay. Well, it was for my coworker's birthday, and he's turning 29, and he's like, "I really want to go to the Mamma Mia disco," and I was like, "Bet." And then I had to wear the most color I've ever worn in my life because I was like, okay, we're dressing on theme. It's gonna be fine. Everybody else wore black.
What the fuck?
And I was like, I literally 99% of my wardrobe is black or gray. And I was like, I'm gonna commit. It's Mamma Mia. Nope, it's just me, Lisa, and I. That was it.
If you wear black to a disco, what the fuck is wrong with you?
This is the first time I'm not the most emo person in the group, but that's fine.
No, you and Lisa did it right. Everyone else flopped.
Thank you.
And I'll tell it to you, I don't care if it's your own fucking birthday. You missed the own fucking theme.
He asked everybody to wear all denim. So I wore denim jacket, obviously my jeans.
Yeah.
And then like a flowery shirt. I was super cute. I had pink on my eyelids.
Very Donna vibes.
Thank you. And he ended up borrowing my jean jacket and my sunglasses because he just didn't fit the theme for his own birthday. But he's my mentee, so I gotta step up my game. Tragic. I'm failing. Failing as a mother.
As a mother to a man who's older than you.
I had to take him under my wing at work, and he did not dress appropriately for his own birthday celebration.
Take him under your wing, and you have to tell him, "Hey, squat down here."
Well, it's ironic because he's like 6'3". No, 6'2". I'm 5'5" at best. So it's just an interesting time, but it's okay. We'll do it better next time.
So Kaylee's not taking under her wing a man that's almost a foot taller than her, but is over 5 years older than her.
I have standards for Mamma Mia. You know this.
I know. I mean, I just think it's funny to be like, I have to take him under my wing. And it's like the man who's literally older than you.
It's fine.
I just think it's funny. Oh my gosh, no. And disclaimer for everybody, we've talked about it for like the first like 5 fucking minutes, but Kaylee and I are big fans into Mamma Mia, and I don't think the children know like about the Mamma Mia drinking game.
It's iconic. You have to share the rules.
Okay, so everybody, this rule. I love how we're not even introducing Kaylee. I'm introducing the rules of a drinking game on this podcast. So this is
priorities. It's fine.
No. This makes it sound so awful, but literally Kaylee was like my lifeline during college, and now I'm just like,
no, it's good. I support the Mamma Mia drinking
I feel so horrible. I'm such an awful person.
Never.
Oh, no. Okay. So first the drinking game, and then we'll bring them both together. So the rules for the drinking game is this can be applied to Mamma Mia 1 or Mamma Mia 2. Here we go again. The second movie is, in my opinion, better.
Agreed.
Just the storyline and like the storytelling is so much better. Like, but you know, like the first one's not bad. Just the two is just that good. So, and there's different modifications for it, but here is like the official rules that like I go by. So every time someone starts singing, you take a shot. Every time someone makes a sexual innuendo, you take a drink. Every time there's a flashback scene, you take a sip until the flashback's over. And then every time someone eats the dessert, you take a shot. Every time that someone starts crying, you take a drink. And then at the end of the movie, you finish your drink. Doesn't matter if you just poured a new one, you got to finish it.
You get very tipsy very, very fast. And it's a great time.
This game is how I nearly broke my toe after sophomore year OChem final.
That was the worst.
That was the absolute worst. But we'll get into that story later. But we have to introduce Kaylee because my own incompetent ass not only cannot schedule this interview correctly, but also can't introduce my guest and my friend correctly. Oh my gosh. So Kaylee and I met in college, and I'll go into a little bit more about that. But Kaylee, like for the people who may not be as familiar with you as the people who are now more familiar with the drinking game than my own guest, can you give everybody just like a little bit like icebreaker background info about you, if you feel comfortable?
Yeah, sure. Oh Lord. It's hard to describe myself because I feel like I'm very boring. Uh
Literal lies.
I went to Hanover with Jacob. We got traumatized at the same time because what the fuck, Hanover? And now I live in Indy and I cut up spines for a living. That's my icebreaker intro right there.
Nice.
Great times.
Oh. And so Kaylee and I met at Hanover. And do you remember the first day we met? Because I do.
It was at the festival thingy, right?
Yeah, like literally.
Yeah. And you were like, I'm gonna graduate early. And I was like, don't you fucking dare.
Yeah, what the fuck was I thinking?
I'm glad you didn't.
I'm glad I didn't too, because like for the people who aren't aware, like graduating early, like yeah, saves you money, but for bio majors that like me and Kaylee were, that literally would have meant like you would have had to take in 3 labs each semester to graduate on time. Like not
awful.
I mean on time to be early. That's what I mean.
And those labs are long. They're not really like short couple hours. As you get into it, it's like 4.
I once had a biochem lab that lasted for over 4 hours.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's not live, laugh, love. So, I remember, and because I was nervous about like going to college, which I really shouldn't be because like our campus literally only had like 1,100 students. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't crazy. Like if you did anything, everybody knew of you in some regard. So I literally like went out there with my freshman roommate Dayon. Shout out Dayon, literal a G, love him. And they were having this like taco truck thing. And at the taco truck, I met Kaylee and Kyla Walls. Love Kyla too as well. Kaylee as well, but like they're not on the pod, and I have to like share love on there. So I literally was going up there, and I was talking about like like the little back and forth dance that you do with everybody. You'd be like, "Oh hi, how are you?"
Oh yeah, just
yeah,
small talk. Yeah,
small talk until you like. I feel so bad for whoever meets me because like literally a week after knowing you, I'm like, oh God. So anyway, so I was literally crying last night, and but like full on, like barrier's gone. Like it's just not very semi-permeable membrane, like immediately. Like just
you're
there.
just open with people, and that's what people love. And if they don't like it, they can get over it.
Yeah. But I remember yeah, I know. I remember this conversation because Kaylee like asked me like, "Oh, look what you gonna do?" I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna graduate early," and Kaylee with her full chest goes, "Yikes!"
I do not remember saying that.
No, and I was like, "Oh, well, I'll just see what happens." And then like a week into classes, I was like, "Yeah, I abandoned this plan. I abandoned I abandoned that plan so hard because 2 labs already was enough. I could not imagine doing 3.
Dude, I was full set to be like a biochem major. And then that second test that everyone hated for intro, like Gen Chem,
Oh yeah.
I remember calling my dad going, I'm not smart enough. And then I just changed my major like the next month. Just became bio.
Yeah. I
Chemistry's the bane of my existence.
literally I was set to be a bio major for such a long time. And then like literally when I declared my major, I was like, I'll get biochem because I was still convinced I was going to go to medical school, even though like I hated chemistry the whole fucking time. And I want to give a disclaimer. Like it wasn't like the chemistry professor's fault. I mean, some of it was, but uh like
Jesus.
I just didn't buy. There is a certain professor that I will not name, but I remember I was taking an exam and I had a question on something. And I was just like, what exactly do you mean by this? Because the wording is like tricky to me. And he goes, I can't tell you that. And I was just like, okay, cool. So I would send Sydney Claypool, like, this is awful. And I sent her to ask the question, and he told her exactly what my answer was, what he was meaning by it. And she would tell me,
You're kidding.
no, no, literally no. And I felt so bad because I literally was talking to Sydney like during an exam, which is like a big no-no anyway. But
Sorry, she's an icon for going up and asking anyway.
literally no one deserves her. She's amazing. And but yeah, like it was just so annoying because I remember coming back after asking, and she goes, you okay? And like you know how like when you know someone for a while, you can like telepathically communicate. And
Yeah.
I was just like, and she goes,
Mm.
like shocked, and she goes, and she walks up, comes back, and then we're the only two in the room at this point, and she tells me to be like, he's asking this. And,
Wow. Yeah, you definitely had favorites.
were you anybody's favorite?
No, I think everybody just thought I was dumb.
Well, I didn't, if that helps.
Eddie
I never thought you were
literally,
dumb.
I feel dumb all the time. Eddie literally was like talking. Do you remember Devin?
Yeah.
Okay, he was talking to Devin and he was like, well, I really wish your friend Kaylee would come to my office hours. Like, why are you telling people that?
Shit.
It's okay. I'm not going to get it. I'm going to try my best and cry my way through it. And then we'll get a C and move on.
Hey, C's get degrees.
Yeah, we got it up to a B the second time I took it, but it's
Oh my gosh. Can I spill some tea about Eddie?
of course.
Yeah. Oh, I may cut this. I don't know, but fuck it, we ball anyway. So, so I just personally was not in a good headspace the second time around like the first time around when I took OChem.
Mm-hmm.
Like family issues and like personal stuff was just like going on. So I was just like not there whatsoever. So I got a C plus in it, and junior year I was like, I really think I can do better this time. Like I think I can do it. So I do it. I take OChem again. I get a B plus. I went from getting a C to a B plus like in 1 year. Like I feel like that's amazing.
That's a huge accomplishment.
I know, especially for not taking the intro again. So
Yeah.
like I was super proud of myself. Like that's over a whole letter grade's worth of growth. And I got an 89. I only missed an A by like 1%.
And you couldn't just bump it up just a little?
No. And like keep in mind, like I got this B plus during COVID, and this final that he usually gives is like a multiple choice grueling exam. So I was like expecting it. I was ready. And then here comes this thing. We literally had to talk about we literally were given like a molecule or a compound or something, and we had to introduce 2 new ways that we did not learn in class how to manipulate it to get to something else. And I was like, Eddie, this is a fucking dissertation. What are we doing?
He did not care.
No. And so I get a 90 on it, and I feel like such a badass that I get a 90 on this thing. And I get an 89 in the class. I was like, "Ah, okay, whatever." And so I thought that, like, great growth, great growth. And like I showed like being very like a studious person. And keep in mind, that's the highest I ever got, like in OChem. Like first semester OChem, I got a B minus, and then the second semester, first time got a C plus. Second semester, second time around, got a B plus. Like the growth overall, like I feel like it's fantastic. And then I asked him, I was like, "Hey, would you mind, like, would you feel comfortable writing me a letter of like recommendation?" Because like I went to his office hours, I asked him questions.
Yeah.
I literally lived in Caroline's study group when this was going on, and he told me, "If you couldn't ask anyone else, I think that'd be better because I really just don't like writing letters of recommendation for students who did not get A's in my class."
What?
I know. I was like, Eddie, the fuck.
Literally 1% off.
Literally 1% off.
Jesus.
I know.
I'm disappointed in him.
I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Like, are we shocked? Are we shocked?
No.
No.
Not at all.
Then no bad blood, but like no good blood either.
It's more like a what the fuck. And that's it. That's the best you can do.
No, but like I feel like that was such the vibe for like so many professors at Hanover.
Yeah. Like there are maybe 3 that I was like, yeah, I can go and say all the stuff that's going on in my life and it'll be fine.
Yeah. It's just, and I don't know. Like, did you have like any, and you don't have to like name them, but like was there any like experiences that you were just like, what the fuck, dude? I thought we had something like vibe
Mm,
when you were in school.
not really. I don't think I was really super close with a lot of the professors. There were like Pretorius and Hubs I was chill with because I could be like, yeah, if I cuss in front of you, you won't care. That kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Bentley Michael, stop that. Sorry, everybody. My dog is being my dog. And then Rubino, I just liked him because he's my alopecia buddy. So he'd make bald jokes and I loved it. But stop it. So sorry. Everyone else, I was just kind of there, it felt like. I don't know.
There were some great professors. Like, I'm not like it wasn't like a horrible time.
No.
But there were enough where I was just like, what the actual fuck is going on here? Like literally.
Yeah. I remember Buckwalter never knew my name. He always
Who's that?
mashed like Buckwalter. He was one of the Spanish professors.
Oh, right.
He kept mixing up Kyla and I's name, but he'd call Kyla, and he'd call me Kylie.
There's not where? Where?
It's because we sat next to each other.
I was like, what the fuck?
It was Kyla and I, so I mean, we are always hanging out. But it's Kaylee. Like, it's not that hard. It's a basic name, I think. So this wasn't the vibe.
I think the way like you spell it too is like not even confusing.
No, it's literally the most basic way you can spell it. It's just like Kylie.
It's Kaylee, Kaylee. Like
Exactly.
Like man was just full on just ignoring letters.
Yeah, I was like, I'd literally be 4 months in, and he'd still be like, "All right, Kylie," and I was like, "No, still not it, but okay."
I swear, sometimes like there were some professors that just wouldn't even try my name until I said it.
Really?
Oh, dude, I got called Hakeem, Jacob, like, and in case anyone who's listening, I spell my name Jakeb. It's literally Jake with a B, so it should be like the most easiest way to spell Jacob.
Very simple.
But everybody loses their goddamn minds about it.
Jesus.
No. So speaking of losing our goddamn minds, so first semester of organic chemistry, like we were sophomores, and it was the most, I wouldn't even say humbling because we knew like we were not gonna do great on it. But like it was just nothing short of soul crushing. And everyone warned us about it. Like everybody warned us, like this final was awful. And
Mm.
I remember I had a senior biochem student who literally was going to get her PhD in like biomedical sciences. And she goes, I remember that final. It was awful. I had to leave, cry, look in the mirror, and tell myself that this one test does not define me and go back in.
Oh my God, that's iconic.
No, I know. Now she's a doctor. It's so funny.
Good for
Um,
her.
I know, love her. I don't remember her name, but love her. And I get out of that exam and I look over at Kaylee and I was like, what do we think? And Kaylee's like, just 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 slowly shaking her head back and forth, like just no. So we decided to be like, oh my gosh, how about Mamma Mia tonight?
It's perfect.
Yeah. So me and my best friend and roommates, Nick and Cole, make a liquor run because what else are you supposed to do? It was literally our final, and we weren't leaving until like 2 days later. So like, and so Kaylee, Lisa, and Savannah come over because Savannah and Lisa and Cole were also in that class. Nick was the only one out of the six of us that was unfazed,
Must be nice.
literally.
He's just there for vibes.
Yeah. So we cue Mamma Mia, and halfway through, we are just gone.
Plastered.
Like, I got to the point where me and Cole started chasing our four locos with shots of tequila. And I'm gonna say something on here to all the children that are watching this, which this is explicit, so you shouldn't be watching this anyways. I'm meaning like the new, like freshly turned 21 college students who are drinking Four Locos, saying it tastes awful. No, duh. It's not meant to taste good. It's meant to, that's not what it's meant for.
Meant to get you drunk fast.
Yeah, literally. Like no one on a casual Tuesday when like I was thinking, yeah, I'm gonna unwind with like a glass of Four Loco. Like, no, know your audience. Know your audience.
Last time I drank Four Loko, I serenaded Kyla and Jay with the entire 21 Pilots album. They were not a fan.
Kind of iconic behavior. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of giving. Oh my goodness. So, do you even remember that night? Like, really?
Nope. I remember being there. I remember me running out of alcohol and Lisa giving me some more. And then that is the extent of my memory.
I remember I jumped down a flight of stairs.
I do not remember that.
That's why I woke, and this was awful. And then I woke up in the morning, and my toe was purple and black.
Oh my God.
And I would, because I didn't know this, because I went to bed, and like I woke up and like get out of my bed, and like on my feet, I was like, "Ow, my foot hurts." And then I looked down, and I was like, "What the hell happened?"
Mamma Mia, man.
Mom,
It's to you.
I mean, you gotta. Oh,
And I do have a video somewhere on my phone of you standing on a glass table singing Dancing Queen.
that was crazy. I was sober when I did that. I was sober when I did that.
Yeah, it was one of our Greek mixers. And I was like, fuck yeah, here we go.
I don't even think it was a Greek mixer. I just think AD Pies came over to hang out. Like I don't even think it was
It
like a
might have been.
I swear. No. I loved no, because I remember that night because I remember I looked over at Cole one time. I was like, can we put Dancing Queen on the party playlist? And he was like, yeah, of course.
It's the best. You can't not get excited to Dancing Queen.
I know. I tell people this all the time. And they're like, yeah, I just don't really like Dancing Queen. Now it's like, you know what? That's okay. Some people just don't like to be happy, and that's fine.
It's a red flag. You tell me you don't like Dancing Queen, red flag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much.
The p-value is less than 0.05. Oh my goodness. So now, aside from Mamma Mia, moving on a little bit, like Kaylee, can you tell like the people like why you initially like wanted to major like in biochem and like give like a little bit of background on that?
Yeah. So we're gonna get traumatic, people. Get ready.
Dun, dun,
Um,
dun. I need a soundboard. I need like Sam's remote for my Carly on this thing.
oh my god. Be like a wah wah. It's okay, make jokes about my trauma, so it'll still be funny, hopefully. But so when I was young, I was born with a giant congenital nevus. So basically, I had a giant birthmark all over my body, and I was in the hospital for a hot minute. I had over 30 surgeries before I got out of third grade. So she was, but it's fine. So that was my first, like, oh man, this sucks. Like, I want to not do this anymore and help people who do go through it. And then 5 years later, so eighth grade, I had like this super stressful experience, blah, blah, blah. And I noticed like a little bald spot on my head. We loved junior high. So, of course, it got worse because bitches. And so, so they bullied me and it made it more stressful. So my hair kept falling out. And we're like, oh, this is bad. Let's go to the doctor. Turns out, bitch has alopecia. And then when I became a sophomore in high school, I had to shave my head. I may or may not have worn like a gray, like one of those winter stocking cap things. I got called Eminem for about 3 months,
Ooh.
but so that like the trauma made me want to be like, hey, I want to help people. This is kind of BS because I got told like, oh, you can't like you're gonna be bald forever. Oh, joke's on you. They made a new medication. For those who can't see, I actually have a little bit of hair. Very
Looks
excited.
so the hair looks so nice. It looks healthy.
Thank you. It's curly and my hair before was straight, so I don't know what to do with it.
Ooh. What do we think?
Yeah.
What do we think?
I look like a giant puffball in the morning, but besides that, I like it. I feel a lot more confident. It's really fun.
I mean, bad bitch in both eras, to be honest.
Thank you. Thank you. I told my mom that if my hair didn't come back with his medicine, I was gonna get tattoos all over my head.
Oh, that would have been
So
such a serve.
thank you. She did not like that idea. She was super pissed, but it's fine. Lucky for her, my hair's coming back. But yeah, I was kind of like, this is bullshit. You can't tell me I'm not gonna have like solutions. So I was like, I'm not gonna let other people go through this. So I'm gonna do something medical related. Um, at one point I was like, I'll be a doctor, and then I passed out in anatomy lab, and I said, fuck that, I'm not gonna be a doctor.
Okay, but like you also hadn't eaten anything all day, and this is an afternoon lab. Because I remember
Yeah,
that.
and I had food poisoning the day before, and I was on my period. Sorry guys, TMI. So I was going through it.
Yeah. So recap for everybody at home. Uh had not eaten anything in 24 hours.
Hmm.
On the period, still recovering from food poisoning. And full tea, full shade, that room was so badly ventilated. And in my personal opinion, those cadavers like were not preserved well.
No, the fact that we were shoving Vaseline up our noses so we couldn't smell all that. Yeah.
Yeah. And while we're on it, everybody, I want I want because we didn't sign an NDA. One of our friends, and you know what story I'm about to get into, don't you?
I do.
We had a visiting professor come and they were doing a dissection. And when this happened, it literally erupted and got into one of our friends' eyes. This happening.
Yeah.
And it was mishandled so poorly. I mean, shout out to Andrew Pretorius, the
An
king,
icon.
the literal savior of that class. Literally, like made sure he was like okay and everything. And the actual professor for the class did not handle it correctly at all.
Yeah,
So
no, every time something came up, I'd always go to Andrew. I would never go to the other professor.
I loved Andrew so much because I literally was like, Andrew, I'm trying. I just don't get this. He goes, oh, like do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. I'm just like, ah, amazing.
Thanks.
Thank you. And I remember one time we were dissecting the heart, and I literally had like saved all the heartstrings, which in case anyone doesn't know, is so hard to do on a. And then the professor came over, and was like, oh, you could have done this like a little bit better, and then cuts the entire heart in half. Literally broke my heart. Literally broke my.
He just did not care. Literally, when I passed out, he let me drop, and Andrew was the one who caught me. Kyla was just shocked that it was happening in general. She was not helpful at all. But yeah, no, the professor just stood there and was like, thanks. I even gave him a heads up. I used finger guns and everything.
Okay, Kaylee, I want to go back into that, but let's just take a quick break.
Sounds good.
And we are back. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Kaylee, we left off talking about before we got sidetracked by human anatomy. We were talking about like why you wanted to be a biochemist and wanting to be a doctor and all that.
Yeah. So I basically got tired of people telling me that I'm going to be stuck with like the body and the condition that I have, and that really pissed me off. So I used my feminine rage to study. And the doctor thing didn't work out. And then I got into the idea of genetic counseling. I got waitlisted for UCLA, and now I'm working with bone marrow. So I can kind of help people now.
Nice. And like because like Kaylee's tried to tell me what she does 3 times, and my brain can like not comprehend it because it's very sciencey and like very cool. And like she tells me what she does, I was like, cool, and like it immediately just leaves my head. So like, would you mind giving like a little bit more background of legally
Yeah.
what you do?
I can't go into too much detail because we're not patented yet. But when someone passes, you know how people like just can donate their organs, parts of their body, whatever, like the icons they are because they're saving so many people's lives. They can choose to donate their spine and their vertebral bodies, and it goes to us. And what we do is we'll get literally just the spine in a box, and we'll go into a clean room, take off all the tissue, and then do a bunch of decontamination phases. And then we literally grind up everything into bits, shake them for a while, and get all the bone marrow out, and then freeze them and package them. And we put them in liquid nitrogen tanks, which I somehow became in charge of. So
Ooh.
crazy. Yeah. I'm freezing all the time. Literally.
Oh my goodness. And how did you like get involved with this? Like I said that's so weird, but like
You're good. Literally, it was one of like the 90 job applications I sent in like a month because I didn't want to graduate and be unemployed. So it was just one of the ones that stuck. I got through to the phone call interview. I totally spaced that I did anatomy before. Like my boss now, she was like, "Oh, are you comfortable being around dead bodies?" And I was like, "Yeah." Literally, I was like training and I was like, I'm gonna hit the floor. Like this is gonna happen again. Surprisingly, it didn't, but I totally spaced.
Past experience passing out. Are you comfortable? Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. This is great.
I mean, I listen. Okay, Kaylee and I graduated like at the peak of the pandemic. Okay,
Trauma.
Trauma is the spice of life. Um,
Why we're so funny.
and literally, have you ever met an untraumatized person? If they were a spice, they'd be flour.
I don't think any of my friends are untraumatized. I wouldn't get along with someone who doesn't need therapy.
I unfortunately know so many people that need therapy that don't go to therapy. Ladies and non-binary pals, it is always men who don't go to therapy that send you to therapy.
Ironically, yeah. That's why I went to therapy. It wasn't my diseases. It was a man. I wish that was a lie, but it's not.
So
Anyway.
jobs. So yeah. So the job market was absolute ass. It still is, but like it was ass. And so literally I remember because I didn't know if I was gonna get into graduate school yet. Like I got in, but like no funding, and I'm not about to go into $20,000 more worth of debt for a master's. And no shame to the people who did, but like it just was not possible for me. I remember because we actually like applied to like a lot of the same places.
We really did.
And I was like, okay, like da, 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 da. I've filled out 30 interviews, not interviews, 30 applications. I want you to know, last week I got a call back asking for me to come into an interview to a place that I applied to in 2021.
Yeah, that's a hard pass.
Like, if you're going this far into the reserves,
What is wrong with that job?
what is wrong with that company? Like,
Honestly, Jesus.
yeah. So I'm surprised. Like, that's the only lie. Not really a lie. Like the only omission of like an event you left out. Because like when my friends were getting jobs, I was like, yeah, lie, lie, lie.
Literally, and it wasn't even because I meant to lie. It's because I just totally trauma blocked it out. And I was like, yeah, no, I haven't done that. It's
As
fine. I'll do great.
you do. And have, and I mean, like I may joke about it now, but like that was like a really like rough time because anyone who is thriving in college, and like I'm not talking about like having fun, I'm not talking about like enjoying the experiences. I mean like thriving, like you're living your absolute best life in all regards. I don't believe you. I just don't believe you.
Yeah, no. The college is great,
Yeah.
but I was mentally ill.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Oh, same. Same. And so like you had all that going on again and like all the events of the last 48 hours going on and you only pass out once. Like I wouldn't even admit that either. 'Cause it was just like it was a very extreme time in all regards.
Yeah. Literally now I just tell it as like a funny story because I'm like, hey, have you ever told somebody with finger guns that you're feeling woozy? I have. And then that's it.
And he let me fall.
I almost hit the ground hard. And my best friend just sat there and went, and that was it. She's so supportive.
Hey, but you weren't even the first one to pass out in that class.
That's true. That was my goal, not to be the first person to pass out.
Yeah.
And I
So
went back into the lab afterwards. I was stubborn.
yeah, listen, y'all. Like if you pass out with food poisoning and having not eaten anything for 24 hours, most people would have been like, yeah, I should probably sit this one out. Girl went back in. Girl not only went back in, did also some of the dissecting.
It was leg day. I wanted to see. I was like, oh, my legs are muscular. Well, they used to be, not anymore. I was like, I just want to check it out, see what's going on in there.
Oh my god, I'm dead. So funny.
Thank you, thank you.
Um, so kind of switching gears, but like Loki kind of related to like this. Kayla and I went to school to a liberal arts like small private school.
Mhm.
So they really valued students being well rounded.
Yes.
Yeah. So even though like Kaylee and I were both bio majors, we were also both English minors.
I actually didn't fill out the paperwork. I did all the classes to complete it, and then so technically, I could have been.
Girl,
I
you
should have
literally
been.
just had to sign the form.
I know. I totally forgot. And then by the time I remembered, like the day before was the due date. And I was like, well, it's fine.
I mean,
I did so well too.
it's not that, I mean, it does not matter. It really does not matter.
Literally does not apply to my job right now, but it's fine.
It shows up nowhere, like nowhere on your degree does it say English minor. It just says bachelor, like bachelor's of
That's
science.
dumb.
Yeah. Wait, did you do the BS or the BA in biology?
BA. I was not about to do any of that calculus with that drama there.
Yeah. So they literally introduced the bachelor's of science in biology, like I think a year or two before we graduated. Like it was fairly new. It was fairly new. So I did the bachelor's of science, and I was thinking like, oh well, like this won't be too hard. Like I'm sure like I'll have to take like a couple more classes. Y'all, you had to take like 2 classes worth of math, and like not just like regular math, like it was either like calculus 1, calculus 2, or calculus 1 and stats. Both semesters of organic chemistry, and then you had to choose a pathway of either 2 classes of computer science, 2 classes of physics, 2 classes of biochemistry, or I think like 2 more classes of like chemistry.
Gross.
Yeah, and since I was convinced I was going to go to medical school, I was like, yeah, I'll just do the physics pathway. It's fine.
That was a mistake.
Physics 1 at Hanover should be abolished. Everyone should just sign a box saying they want the credit and go, and like pay the money for it and go. Because we did not learn a single thing, and we just were traumatized.
I remember hearing stories about that class and being like, thank God.
No, I literally was complaining to Kaylee every single day about it. Because I took Biochem 1 and Physics 1 at the same time. Whoever let me do that, preyed on my downfall.
Who was your advisor?
Girl, really?
Oh, yeah. Don't even. Mistake number 1. You should have gone with Pamela Pretorius. An icon.
I love her, but like she made me mad.
That's fair.
No, I'm not gonna go into that. I mean, like it's not like it's water under the bridge now, but like when the moment happened, I was like, you have embarrassed me and trifled with the wrong one. Fun fact, I'm actually the TA for genetics now.
Oh my God.
I'm for everybody's career. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding 100%. But
Tell them all the wrong things. Be like, haha, struggle, just like I did.
Top box doesn't exist. Jeans fake.
The only jeans that exist are the ones that you wear.
American Eagle jeans, the only ones.
I'm a Judy Blue bitch.
Ooh, yeah.
It holds in my thighs.
Dude, I get so right in like the center of my, like the inside of my thighs, like holes all the time for my jeans.
Dude, I have to wear leggings. Well, I don't have to wear leggings to work, but like I have to wear comfy clothes because I wear scrubs all the time. So of course I'm gonna wear leggings. They do not live that long. They're done.
No, they live and that's it.
Yep. It's fine.
But so Kaylee and I both said that like we wanted to study abroad, and for like bio, we thought we would go to like Belize, but like that only happened like every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the first class to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So needless to say, when we were sophomores and our last names being S&W, we literally had the last pick of the sophomores. So we were just like, yeah, that ain't happening. But we found out that there was a class going abroad to Ireland in Northern Ireland. And
Best month of my life.
And I was like, I'm Irish. Like, I'm like, well, I'm a quarter Irish. And I was like, we'll go.
Yeah. I just wanted to meet an Irish man.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I still have some of them on my Snapchat.
Oh my god, I still have one. Every year on the 4th of July, I drunk text him and go, fuck the English, and then it's great.
We were dying. We were exhausted. This trip was so fun though, because I mean, obviously, like I went with Kaylee, and we had so many of our friends there too. Like it was such a
It was
vibe,
great.
and literally, like it was so much fun. I had such a great time, and the grading was, but I'm not letting that go, guys. The two professors who, what literally, like I basically minored in all of her classes. There's only one English class that I took that was not her teaching it because
Really?
she was on sabbatical.
Dude, I took her Jane Austen class because I was like, I'm just gonna be like in the movies. Literally, everyone was like shitting on my favorite one because it's like the gothic satire, Northanger Abbey. And everyone was like, that's the worst. And I was like, it's so fucking funny. Like, get out of here.
Oh my God, I'm dead. No, I remember I was being so annoying, and I fully know that. I was being so annoying in front of every castle. I was like, this is my castle, everybody. Like to the point, to the point. And like I did it with Alex Weibel, who is also a guest on season 1 of the pod. If you guys haven't watched that episode, go watch that one after this one. Um, but we literally would go and be like, "Hey, MTV, welcome to my crib." And I want to point out that I did this, and not 2 weeks later, the fermentation class that went to Ireland, literally everyone in that fucking class, after seeing my Instagram post, and I know because they liked and commented on it, followed the same exact format. And I'm just like,
Trendsetter.
literally.
You were saying welcome to my crib. I was like, oh my god, I wonder how many ghosts are here. At least 7.
We went to some haunted ass places.
Dude, that one where it had that child's playroom.
That
Freaked me out.
Do you remember the abandoned mansion that we went to, like in the middle of nowhere?
Yes.
Yeah. What the fuck were we doing?
I don't know. We were just fucking around, I guess.
I had a great time. I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. But like, and he was talking about like, yeah, sometimes like the ladies' makeup would melt off, so they stayed in the kitchen. I'm like, what the fuck? What the fuck are we talking about?
Horrifying, but it's fine.
Yeah. So, right. So, like in front of the castles and everything that we were going to, me and Alex did this so much to where the professor even said, now, when we go to places, be sure to you can't claim them as your own castles or whatever. And looked right at us. And me and Alex were both like, yeah, who did that? Who is doing this?
Jesus.
It was just so funny. It was literally such a fun time. Like it was a fever dream because for those of you who don't know, we literally were in a new city like every 2 days.
I remember the driver just whipping it through the curves of some of the places between the cities, and I was like, I'm gonna throw up. There's so many turns right now.
I was convinced we were gonna die.
I'm surprised we didn't.
I mean, combined with the drinking that we did, the lack of sleep that we got, and this is how I knew I was a fat ass. Like so many places, because there's the sugar tax in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that has sugar is either $1 million or is just not there. And I remember because all I wanted was like a Coke, like a regular Coke.
Yes.
And I remember, I think we were in Galway when we found this gas station that had them. And we were literally like, everyone was like buying like 5 of these things, cleaned out the whole supply. And I remember I went to a Circle K and they didn't have a Polar Pop there. I lost my damn mind.
Literally, we walked all the way there. We were like, motherfucker. So mad.
Yeah, because you walk everywhere in Europe, which is like kind of a vibe, I'm not gonna lie. Because it's a very walkable continent, I feel like.
Can't relate.
No. And oh my gosh. I remember one. Do you remember the time when we had like a spaghetti, like a whole like spaghetti dinner, like in our like apartments that we got for like 2 days?
Yes,
That was
I
so
love
fun.
that.
That was so
I
fun.
remember we literally made like mac and cheese and Cole, oh, what's his last name?
Vanderpump.
His yes. He was literally eating the rest out of the pot in the corner in the dark. He
So
just was,
real. So fucking real.
and Lauren and I were like, okay. We just
No,
wanted American food so bad.
I yeah, because I mean some of the food was fire, I'm not gonna lie.
It was very good. And I would love to go back and have more.
Um I I'd want to go for like I don't know if I could do a month again.
No, maybe a couple weeks, but
Couple weeks,
probably
yeah.
not a month.
Maybe a month if we stayed at one place.
Yeah.
You remember when we stayed at the hostel?
Yes. And Lauren and I got that. No, literally, I remember because all of the girls were in one room and it was sketchy, man. I hated the bathroom so much. I was like, this is the quickest shower of my life. And then we had class in the middle of that living room thing, and people would just come in and sit, and I'd be like, hello.
Yeah, because guys, we're also like full on taking a class while this is going on.
Yeah, we had
Man,
Larry time.
I got to be in that class, and I was so pissed.
I have no idea what I got in that class. I honestly forgot.
I thought you got an A.
I'd be very surprised if I did.
I thought you did because your journals were fire.
I'd be like trying to write about the emotions I was feeling. And I was like, this is the most I've talked about my emotions in my entire life, but it's fine.
You know, as traumatizing as college was, doing that was so much fun.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part. And literally, I was like, Savannah almost had me convinced to go to Vietnam junior year, and then everything shut down. And
Yeah.
I was like, well,
Mm. I want to talk about that too because like so at our institution we have May term, which is where everybody takes one class for the month of May. And Kaylee and I went, and like our other friends, of course, but Kaylee and I went abroad our sophomore year. And I don't know about you, but I got shit on quite a bit for going so early in my career because there's scholarships you can get, but you can only get them one time. So we
yeah,
use scholarships like for that time. People are like, what are you doing? Like, you don't want to study abroad your junior or senior year? Like, da 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 da.
nope,
I was like,
motherfuckers.
and I was like, no, because I'm not sure like what's gonna happen. And then a global pandemic happened, and no one could go abroad anywhere.
That sucks. See,
Uh,
Savannah went to Spain before, so she already had like that covered.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm very happy we went early.
yeah. I swear, sophomore year, as crazy as it was the last good year of college.
Honestly, same because junior year, we got sent home early. Senior year, everything was so restricted.
Mhm.
We literally had like 2 years of college, and that was it.
Yeah, and we didn't even get the good years where we knew what we were doing.
I don't think I ever would have known what I was doing if we're being honest, but it's
Well, I mean,
fine.
like you know what you were doing, like on a college campus, like
That is true.
in a regard. But I always really valued like my time with everybody. And like I tell like anyone who like talks to me ever, the most important thing to me in my life are like the people in it and
Yes.
like my friends and my family. And I am always so thankful like of our friendship because like I don't even know like how we became friends. We just clicked. And like that I feel like that happens on like so many of my friendships. Like I just meet them and
Mhm.
like here they are. And it's just so I don't know, it was so effortless and like that's why I love it so much.
That's the best part because I feel like I can say the dumbest things, and you're like, yeah, go off. Perfect.
No, literally. And like I remember one time I was being so dramatic about about something. I don't even know. I mean, it could be anything, honestly. And I just said, I love being dramatic because why would you deal with any emotion logically when you have the option of losing your mind? And Kaylee was like, yeah, totally. Feel that.
Go for it.
Go for it. Oh my
It's
God.
the best mindset you can have.
Yeah. I mean, why? Oh my goodness. So I don't know. We briefly talked about it like a little bit, Kaylee, but like because I try to ask most people this, which like I'm not gonna lie, I probably forgot to ask the last three interviews this. So I'm sorry, everybody, but uh, if there was like one piece of advice you would give your freshman self and your just graduated college self, now that like you have a job, you're kind of like established, you're getting to work in a field where you do get to help people and actually like use your scientific training and knowledge, like
Yeah.
what advice would you give them?
Freshman year me, I would just tell her to just go for it. Don't be so I was very insecure.
Hmm.
24-year-old me now, she's a little insecure sometimes, but not as bad as I was.
Hmm.
I was like, just don't let what you're going through hold you back from what you want to do in life.
Hmm.
So I think I would have been more involved if I wasn't so scared, that kind of thing. Senior year, just graduated me. Honestly, I think she would just need to hear that she would be fine. I think I was like, oh my God, this is my first like adult job. I'm not like everyone's so smart and it's just me. I'm a supervisor now. So, I mean, obviously something's going well,
Period.
but I don't know. I just think she would need to hear that you're doing good and you're smart enough. I think that's what a lot of people, I'm really bad at this, but a lot of people think, oh, I'm the dumbest person here, blah, blah, blah. But you don't hear the inner thoughts that other people have. You just hear yours. And I think that's what screws people over. Be confident, be you.
I love that. I love that so much.
Thank you.
Oh. And I'll have to say, I mean, like, you know, I've always thought you were such a bad bitch. So like, there's
Oh,
there's nothing new. But like, I don't know, like just seeing like your growth, like ever since like we met, and like you just seem like to have like a more like inner peace to you, and it's just so healing. I love that.
thanks. It's been a battle, but
It
we're
always is,
working
ain't
on it.
it?
Yeah.
But we're here. We're here.
We're here. We're alive. That's all that matters.
Period. Well, Kaylee, we're gonna be wrapping it up here in a few minutes, but
Okay.
there's any advice you would like to give to like the listeners who just maybe like starting college or like navigating the job search or like trying to like survive in academia, what would you tell
Yeah. I would tell them to take risks.
them?
Like if you're afraid how something's gonna work out, just try it anyway. Like especially if you're going into like sciences, it's all about testing. Go for it and just trust yourself. Be you. You know who you are better than anyone else will. That's all I can say. Yeah. Trust yourself. Take risks.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Kaylee, thank you so much for agreeing to be on the podcast. I hope you've had a great time because I did, and I know our listeners did. And if not, fight in the comment section. There is no comment section.
Perfect. So I'll win.
Yeah. And if you guys like this, be sure to leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your podcasts, because this is hard. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. I'll never call it X. That's stupid. And be also to follow us on Instagram threads. As always, I am Jacob Watts, and I'm tired. All right. Good night, everyone. Good night, Morrow, whatever. Happy birth, miss. Bye.